Well, it's still Friday of the Labor Day weekend of 2022, and we're still here at the range. Just wrapped up some other shooting, and now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put my first shots through this 1898 Krag. This is not the same one that you've seen on the channel so far. It's very similar. It is an 1898. A little bit different. It's had some mild sporterization. The stock has been shortened, but it is a full-length barrel still, so that's nice. It's still an original military stock, just shortened. It does have the cartouche here, and it's got the proof marks and stuff beneath. I'm going to run the same load that I was running in my other 1898 Krag when I was shooting at the 200-yard match. This is a 180 grain round nose bullet. It is a different bullet. It was like a herder's bullet that I was using in the other load. This, I believe, is a Remington core locked. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not seated all the way to the cantilever. You can see there that I'm a little bit longer. This overall length matches the overall length that I ran with that other bullet that did not have a cantilever. And we're still at 32.2 grains of IMR 3031. Some old Herder's large rifle primers that I picked up quite some time ago. Good thing to use up in these military rifles. This one, the trigger feels real good, and it's in decent shape. I mean, it's, you know, for a rifle from 1898, looks pretty good. We got a little bit of wear on some finish here and there, but nothing serious. It's a very nice sporter. I do like the rifle a lot. It's very smooth, as many Krags are. Very, you know, smooth operating bolt. This one has the later Dixon sight than my other 1898 does. This one has the flip out of the way peep. You can see that little blade there. You can flip that peep sight down if you just want to use the groove. Am I getting that in frame? Yeah, kind of. Again, I strongly recommend you watch the C and Arsenal video on Krags. They go over the sights very well. This is a later sight than my early 1898 Dixon that's on the other one. This is a later Dixon with the peep, and it does have the rounded corners. So watch Othnias's video. He'll tell you all about that sight evolution and what they went through on that. But pretty solid rifle, I think. Like I said, I haven't shot it yet. Just put this ammo together this morning, wrapped it up. So I figured I'd run a few, put the cutoff down there, and let's just go ahead and do the ever popular drop them in. I haven't quite mastered the pour it in technique yet. I've gotten 4 out of 5 before, but right now the cutoff is down, so the rifle will chamber, or I shouldn't say chamber, the bolt will close without picking up a round. I'll go ahead and get my ears on here. Say 50 yards, I'm just gonna stand and shoot. I wanna shoot the rifle, fire form some brass so I can take some measurements, see how similar it is to my other Krag. So, I really enjoy shooting the other one. I don't expect anything different from this one. I think I'm in frame pretty good. And I just blackened that front sight. Oh yeah, that shows up good. Trying to decide if I want to go hasty sling or if I just want to go free on it. Yep, I like that. So let's go ahead, flip the cutoff up, chamber around. Let's verify that the safety works. I did test this at home. We are downrange, we're safe, I'm off the target. Safety does work good. All right, let's see if we can get some on paper. Sling could be adjusted a little bit, but I'm just going to run it out of being expedient. The trigger on this one is much lighter than my other one. I was just starting to take up the first stage, and I got that. So we're going to have to be a little bit more disciplined. A little bit right. just gonna run without the sling here. Don't feel like adjusting it. I'm gonna try to get a feel for this two-stage trigger. That was a better shot. I was a little low and left on the hold. This one, the trigger is a lot different than my other one. One more. That was a very good hold. I really liked it. I was right at 6 o'clock where I was trying to be. And once again, the action is just spectacular on the rifle. Brass looks quite good. This was brand new brass that was head stamped from Graphs. I picked up another 150 rounds of this at a shop the other day. Was happy to find it. Primers feel good. They didn't push out. That means my headspace was pretty good. My pressures were pretty good. These did have a little bit of firmness on close, which is good. That's what I like. Let's lay the rifle down and go see what I did. I think a couple of those were probably off the paper. That first one for sure, because I was really sloppy on my trigger pulling that first one. It's always interesting, the first shots through a rifle you haven't got any experience with as to what the trigger would feel like. I approached it like a heavy two-stage military trigger, like so many of my other milsurps, and it's much lighter than that. So that first shot in particular was a wee bit early, but let's go down and take a look at my target. Well, I'm not dissatisfied with those 4 at all based on how I felt on that rifle. This is actually a 25-yard slow-fire pistol target, so it's about the right size for a 50-yard bullseye, but it's what I had in the van, so I just grabbed it. But I do know that that first one was probably down in this area somewhere where I was not getting along with the trigger. A little better execution on these 4, but yeah, I'm not dissatisfied at all with the way I was feeling on the trigger on that rifle. So let's go back and put a few more through it and see if I can get them up into the bullseye where they belong, or at least centered, and a little bit better trigger control now that I kind of understand what it's going to feel like. Just a real quick overview of the rifle. Again, this is another 1898 Krag, serial number 243076. I'll have to compare that with my other one. I don't remember what it is offhand, but you can see we still do have a little bit of the cartouche. This stock has been refinished with something quite glossy. The previous owner did tell me that he thought it had ought to be refinished, but was concerned about losing the markings if that happened. A little bit of scuffing here and whatnot. You know, all in all, it's a pretty straightforward rifle. It could be dropped back into a military stock even. So it's a reasonable rifle, I think. This is my second Krag. I really like them. You know, I haven't cleaned this one or anything. I just ran a patch down the bore to make sure everything looked good there. And it's as issued, I guess you'd say, as far as issued to me. But very similar to the other one. I think my other one is in a little bit better shape and certainly more original. This one, you know, some mild sporterization, the shortened stock and whatnot. So, you know, I went and blackened my front sight, and then I just went and laid it down on this case and rubbed part of it off. Not smart, dummy. Should probably blacken it back up again. We'll take a look at it and see how the sight looks when I get it back up on my shoulder. If it looks like it's too shiny, I'll blacken it again, but I rubbed it on the case and rubbed the black off of it. So there's a quick overview of my second Krag. Well, indeed, I did rub too much of the black off of that front sight, so let's go ahead and do a new carbide black job. Looks like I've got enough rock left in there that this should work. Put a few drops of water in there and get her smoking. We're making acetylene now. I might have to put some fresh rocks in there. Doesn't look like it's making a whole lot. Yeah, maybe enough. We might get by. A little windy, so it's hard to... I prefer to hold the lamp in my hand and blacken the sight, but I was trying to do it here so you guys could see it. And I could use a little more acetylene. I'm not real black here. So I could probably use a bit more rocks, carbide rocks in there. It's getting black. It's way easier if I stand the rifle up in the rack and then run the carbide lamp by hand, but I can get it this way. There we go. It's, I don't know if you guys can see that. I'll try to get in front of the camera. It's nice and black now. All right, I'll be careful not to rub it on the case this time. Not too hot. We'll open her back up. Yep, and here's the can of carbide rocks. Put a little chart up in there. Okay, well, let's go ahead and get ready to shoot some more. Okay, I think I'm ready for the next 5 rounds. I kind of duffed that one. Trying to do it left-handed over the top. Not exactly the best way to do it. Oops, didn't get that one down in there. There we go. Oh yeah, that sight's good and black now. Okay, let's see if I can make some decent shots here. I'm a little sweaty and jumpy. Uh-oh, I got a telephone call coming in and it's my kid. I better take that. Okay, I wrapped up the phone call. Back at it. We've already got our rounds in the gun, in the magazine, ready to go. So, my feet where they belong. Looks pretty good. Let's see if I can get some on the target. Good elevation. I was a little right on the hold. A little bit left, a little bit low on the hold. That hold felt pretty good. Pretty much centered, but a little bit towards the lower part of the black circle. Okay, last one. Let's try to get this one lined up good in the middle. I was wobbly, but I was upper left quadrant. Nice. It's a pleasant rifle to shoot. Yeah, again, I don't see anything with the brass. This time I'll be careful not to wipe my black off my front sight. Well, yeah, looks like I got a couple of better shots here, but I had these up here because I was holding higher where I should be, but I was also coming over to the right. So some of my shot calls, I felt that I was over here. I had one that I definitely felt up here, but you know, I'm here, here, and here. So I'm definitely impacting the right. So I think I might, yeah, I got one right in the 4x4 there. You can probably see the bullet down in there, unless it came out the backside. So I'll adjust over to the left a little bit because I'm definitely coming to the right there. So I'll adjust that rear sight a little bit. Okay, I decided to shoot from the bench. I was a little wobbly, probably not doing the rifle justice. I'm hungry and I'm thirsty. I did get a drink of water, but I was wobbling all over, so I decided I'd just grab a quick front bag and see what I could do from the bench for these last 10 rounds. So we'll see how this goes. I'm gonna go for a center of the bullseye hold. And once again, that trigger is much lighter than my other Krag. Wasn't settled quite as much as I wanted to be there. Okay, I like that. There's the second stage. Okay, I'm starting to feel it better now. I think I might change my mind. I'm going to change my mind and use a 6 o'clock hold, because with this light I'm losing the blade in the black. So I'm going to use a no light 6 o'clock lollipop, if you will. Wow, I didn't get the second stage that time. Maybe that needs to be cleaned, because I got a very crisp second stage on the when I was setting up. But once I started my pull there, I never got to the wall. It just went. Okay, there's the hold. Okay, it moved. I felt it coming back where it should have picked up the wall for the second stage, and I never got it. So right now it just feels like a real spongy light trigger. Maybe a little bit of cleaning will help that, but it's very difficult for me to get a good squeeze the way this feels right now. I'm trying to be good with it. Okay, let's go real slow on that first stage. It's moving. It's moving. That never hit the wall. I started to lose patience with it too. Let's dry fire one. Yes, that time I just started to try to get into it. Okay, so there's a little bit of take up. You can see the bolt move there as it takes that out of the sear. And then there's a little creep. I don't know if you guys can see. When I first start to take it up, you can see the bolt move. Okay, so there's that. That's really not the first stage though. That's just free play. I don't know if I can get a better view of that if I move the camera up closer, but I'm struggling with the trigger a little bit here. So if we look at this from that point of view, if you watch the bolt, you can see the bolt move, takes up the slop there, that little bit. Then it starts the second stage, and see how it jumped? It starts the second stage, and then it's like, it starts to stack and then break, and it's really hard to find the wall. Let's see if I can, there's the slack coming in. Ugh, couldn't get it. Jeez. I won't look at it. I'll do it without looking at it, and then maybe that'll help. Okay. I feel the slack. I think I mistook that slack for the first stage. It's not. There's the slack. I'm not looking at it. I'm just feeling it. It's not moving. I'm squeezing. There it moved. But it was very unpredictable. Can I feel the wall, or is it just going to keep coming? Okay, it jumped a little bit more. It's spongy, and it's like you squeeze and you get like a breakout force, and it moves a little, and it moved a little more. that ought to be about where the wall is on the second stage, but I can't feel it. I'm just kind of holding, and then it went, and it's spongy. Yeah, and then it over travels. That's weird. I'm gonna have to clean that and see what I get. So let's go ahead and finish shooting. That's why I was struggling with that offhand, is that trigger is not at all feeling what I would like it to feel. It's light and it breaks clean when it breaks, but I can't feel when I come into the second stage. Okay, here we go. I would rather have it be heavier and be able to feel the second stage. 6 o'clock hold. Don't let the trigger beat you up. Oh, the light changed and for the better. I can see it. I'm just shooting this like a single stage trigger now. It'd be interesting to see where these are going, if there's any consistency at all, because my trigger work is atrocious. Yeah, that one just felt like a big, long, spongy trigger, and then it broke. That might require some work. Hopefully, just some cleaning. Maybe a new spring. Oh yeah, I can see great. Spongy. 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 Yeah, that's an interesting one. I was able to keep it from just breaking right off the bat that time, but still, I could feel it go. It's like a ratchet, but not with a lot of force though. Very light force. I can just feel the stack up of the friction, and then you like break out of the friction, and then it does its thing. Okay, let's try to do a better shot here. I'm gonna pull it in a little harder. Oh, I like the hold. Yeah, that was just a straight through progressive pull. Like a big, long, creepy single stage. Be interesting to take it apart and look at what the sear surfaces look like. They might have a reverse angle on them or something. One more. Boy, I can see the sight so well right now. Creepy. Yep, that's gonna require a little bit of tuning, I think. Let's go ahead and see what I did on these ones off the bench. Still, yeah, that trigger is gonna require a little bit of something. Hopefully it just cleaning, but I might have to source some parts and replace something in that. That's not feeling consistent at all. Airplane. Probably the jump plane. The sun's went behind the clouds and the wind's kind of come up a little bit, but it feels really good. So let's, rifle safe, let's go down and take a look at that target. Well, okay, not too bad for fighting with the trigger. I was trying to do a 6 o'clock hold. This very well might be my first shot when I was trying to do a center hold. So that would make sense that one would be higher, but I got a cluster of 3 there that are touching and some others, but yeah, I was struggling with the trigger, so I think I'm going to do a little cleaning on that rifle and give it another try and see how that feels. So that's the first time out with that 1898 Krag, 50 yards again. So yep, we're starting to get some cloud buildup up there. It might we might get an evening shower here. I don't know. It's not really in the forecast, but they said there was a possibility. But anyway, nice day at the range, good fresh air. It's time for some food. So I'm going to take my target down here. I did bring another rifle, but I brought some handguns too, but I think I'm just gonna go ahead and wrap it up, get some food, and then tune into the Georgia Shooters Connection to check out the prize drawing. So I'll see everybody online.